All right, still here this morning with Rufus. Went for a little walk on the property here, and I just wanted to kind of go over some stuff that we've been working on with him. So one of the biggest things that we've been working on with Rufus here is getting a really solid recall, making sure he's not chasing after wildlife, or he lives on an acreage on a ranch with his owners. Beautiful area near Banff. Lots of animals, lots of wildlife. They don't have a fenced-in yard or anything because of the area that they live, and there's just tons of animals, wildlife like coyotes, deer, elk, cougars, bear, everything you could possibly imagine. They got to deal with it, so we need that really reliable, solid recall with them. And we also need to make sure that when he's out and about with us, he's not kind of seeking out those things to go chase. He's got a huge prey drive. He's always looking for mice and stuff to hunt in the fields. A few days ago, we had him out here on the long line, and a coyote kind of showed up, and I wasn't really prepared for it, and he darted after it, and I had the long line in my hand, so I just held that, and he hit the end of it and came back. I didn't even try to recall him in that situation because it kind of caught me off guard. But we've been really proofing his recall and stuff since that. He's been doing really good, so he's pretty much 100% trusted off leash. But the big thing I wanted to get into is like the idea of training that recall. Something his owner asked me when she dropped him off was, she kind of said like, so Dylan, like a recall, that's kind of a training thing, right? That's not really a relationship thing with dogs. And I kind of said to her, well, I was actually thinking about it a couple days before she asked this question, and I really do believe that that recall in a large part of the recall is having a solid relationship with your dog, having a dog that actually wants to be around you and with you. And I know that doesn't sound like a crazy thing to say when you say it, but there's a lot of training that focuses on recall, off-leash recall, e-collar recall, where it's not about the relationship, it's just about the training and the response to the tools like the electric collar. And those kinds of programs typically rely heavily on those tools to make those commands happen for essentially the life of the dog, because they never put in that focus on the actual relationship or emotional aspect of the recall, right? And so what I mean by that is, when I get a dog here like Rufus, who as soon as I come out the door with him, when he gets here for training, he just wants to go fuck off and run around on the acreage here to look for mice and coyotes. I know right off the bat that, yeah, we could drill recall for days, right? We could drill recall with the e-collar right away from day one and get a really solid recall on him. But the thing is if I let my guard down with a dog like that, if we've done that kind of training without focusing on the recall, if I let my guard down, or if I don't have the tools on, or whatever the case is, that dog still wants nothing more than to get away from me. If that door comes open and I'm not paying attention, he's getting out that door and running away, right? These are things with these types of dogs where it's so important to focus on that relationship building first. If you have a dog where it's as soon as you go out the door, they're looking for anything to do but be near you, that again is going to be a relationship thing before it's a recall thing. Once we fix the relationship, the recall will be easy to get, and you won't need to rely so heavily on tools like the electric collar and stuff. Still an aspect 100%, but it's not the end all be all. And we're not going to tell you that your dog has to wear that tool for life, and you're gonna have to hit that button every time you call them, or every time they see an animal you're gonna have to hit that button, because again, they're not actually responding to you, they're responding to the tool, and they have no desire to respond to you. And so it's so important during the first weeks of a training program for a dog like this, before I get him out off leash, and we're just really starting to get that off leash proof now. But before I start doing this, we have a really solid relationship. So when I come outside with him, the last 2 weeks he's been here, since within the first week, when I come outside with him now, he's looking to me for direction. He's looking to me to see what we're going to do together. And you can see right, he's with me, right? He's not, his owners dropped him off on day one and they just unclipped the leash and let him go. I kind of advised against it, but they did it. And he ran all the way over there, way over towards that hill there. And so we called him back finally, and he did come back eventually, but it took a lot of convincing, and it was just our luck that he didn't see an animal out there, because he would have been gone. But now that we have this relationship built up here, now that we have a dog that actually wants to be with me and around me, I don't need to use commands constantly. I don't need to ask this dog to follow me. I don't need to use an electric collar to teach the dog a boundary around me like many trainers will do. We have a good relationship. And then if I need to use tools like the electric collar to reinforce or enforce the commands, the behaviors, that's easy. It's something I might have to do a few times, and his owners might have to do a few times, not every single time they take him out off leash, because we focused on the important stuff first, the relationship. So just make sure if you have a dog that, you're struggling with a recall, you're struggling with when you open the door, they just want to get away from you and go run and find anything else but to be with you. Fix that issue first. Get out and play with your dog. That's 100% how I've done it with Rufus. We focused on all the play indoors first. Came outside after about, a few days of playing inside. Came out with a toy. He played with me out here. He wants to be around me and he wants to hang out with me. So it's easy for us to get a solid recall. And it's not something I have to worry about all the time with him. Because again, he wants to be with me, right? And he's not being forced to. He's not scared to leave my side because the electric collar pressure is going to go on like many teachers will teach, trainers will teach. He just has a strong desire to be with me. Rufus, come on. And when I say his name, he responds. I got videos from his day one saying his name while he's outside. Zero response to his name. Zero response, just totally tuning it out. So again, that's not training. We didn't do reps of conditioning his name with food, Rufus food, like many trainers. We just spent time together. I used his name during game plays. I made his name mean something. I attached it to commands and to fun. And again, he just has that desire to respond. Good boy. Yeah. Good. So yeah, like I said, if you're working on these things with your dog, focus on that relationship first. Get a solid relationship. Recall will come easy.